Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Writing this out to feel better. Update. Honestly, I'm going to write it out better too, so no link. If you want to see the emotional in the moment version, you know how to find it. Smiley face. It feels therapeutic to lay it all out. This story actually starts at the beginning of our relationship. We met via an online app. Neither of us had age on, but it turns out I'm 35, she's 25. More of a gap than I'd prefer, but we didn't bother asking until our second date. Not to sound like a jerk, but I thought she was 30-31. She just looks and carries herself older. Anyway, enough justifying that. Lesson learned. We hit it off and started as FWB. During that time she met what will later be the app. She was infatuated with him, he blew her off. We hit it off. Time passes and we become serious. We really bond on a trip back to her sorority. She didn't get to have a party due to COVID, so I bought a keg and threw her one. We talked for hours and hours. We eventually get to talking about our early days of our relationship. She brings up app as who my primary competition was. Well, he is described as the following. Currently on probation after 2 years in prison for holding people at gunpoint in their house. Lives on his sister's couch. Has a kid he won't pay child support for. I'm shocked. I tell her then that had I known that was my competition, I probably would have bowed out. That her even having considered him over me was troubling. Mind you, I do well and have my shit mostly on track. She says she isn't sure now what she saw then. Well, she ends up moving in. Her parents are selling the place and moving, and they keep fighting. To give you some time frames, we met October 20th. We became exclusive Jan 21. That trip was in the summer, but the summer is a blur. She gets a job at my company and gets promoted right away. However, the job was too stressful and she was crying a lot. She has mental health issues and we'll get to those. So she quits. I'm covering everything for her while she's looking for a job. I leave my big corporate job to do the fuck you, I'll start my own and it will be better thing. I'm taking her to at least one concert a week. It was a crazy, but fun, time. I had assumed she was looking for a job. Well, there are just no interviews, none. I start to correctly assume she is in fact not looking for a job. We all have our demons. I encouraged her to try therapy and a psychiatrist. I practically forced her to, constantly reminding her to do the intake papers. At this point she's only herself in waves and otherwise is bedlocked. We laid around a lot. I know this is depression. There's also a lot of trauma regarding a junkie ex of hers that really fucked her up. She sees her doctor and starts a heavy dose of Cymbalta. She will increase this dosage twice with her GP. At this point she's trying to get a therapist and it's about July. In August I get very concerned about her weight loss and pay for a personal trainer. I had her sign up while I was at work and man, that was an oops. Dumb choice on my part, but she was gaining weight so it helped. It's around this time her parents sell the house and get their new place. I want us to have space as we moved in way too fast. She agrees. She sort of packs her stuff. There was a lot to pack at the end, so not really. I got her a laptop to job hunt on. I kept trying to get her to try more than just the one app. She got headhunted by a company for a real grind sales position. I mean you make nothing, work 65 hours a week, get calls at 2 a.m., cold call for sales that don't even belong to you until after 6 months, get fired if you don't meet quota kind of jobs. They got cheap leads and wanted to mill them. That job led to a rather big fight. One where I'm so confused about how hard she is going after this job when she quit her last one because of having to talk to clients on a phone. She's a high anxiety girl. I work in sales and ground my way out of that pile of festering shit. It's not for her. More though, it's the exact definition of her hell job. I watched her have a breakdown and cry because her sandwich was made wrong. This girl has anxiety. We had went over her likes and dislikes. She saw a sales floor at our corporate job and thought it looked horrible. Hindsight, this is when I think the meds started making her manic. Or at least, making her have little judgment and impulsive. Finally I proved to her that the Glassdoor reviews were fakes, showed her actual reviews of employees saying exactly what I said it was. She withdrew her application, but still resents me for it. Things between us start change. We more than once stayed up all night just talking. All of a sudden it's silence and her nose deep in her phone. By October she was always on the phone. It's around October that she said he made contact with her, when they started bonding over text. It's also around this time she starts spending about a night a week at her parents'. It's also around this time she starts hanging out with one of her girlfriends that never seemed to care for me. They've been friends since childhood. When she would hang with that friend, she would stay at her parents' because they are on the same side of town and she needed to move in there anyway. This friend had a habit of asking her to do things at 5 on a Friday, before I've gotten out of work and had a chance to see if she wanted to go anywhere. That also leads to a fight where I ask for heads up so I'm not sitting alone with a blown Friday. Particularly when earlier she didn't want to go anywhere. In late October, early November, she gets in to see her therapist, after many times of me begging her to do the paperwork. In mid-November, her psychiatrist. At this point she has been upping her Cymbalta dose over 5 months and was on 2 a day. It's sort of helping. She is bipolar. I don't think her therapy got far enough, but I'm a veteran and I know PTSD when I fucking see it, and I'm sure that's in there too. She is on Abilify, Cymbalta, Mitrazapine, and they gave her another pill to calm the fucking tremors she was getting from that cocktail. I'm 60% sure I'm missing one med. We went downhill after she started therapy. That's kind of funny, right? Late November, the weekend of my birthday, there was a concert on Friday that she had told me I was absolutely not allowed to make plans on for months. Well, it's also the week she started all her new meds. I'm at work and planning on meeting up with her after, and I see a message that she is going to stay at her parents' condo that night. I am starting my own business, I don't get much free time. So I was pretty upset to end up sitting home alone, because I wasn't allowed to make plans and in a nasty fight with her. That passes but unresolved. We go to a show for a band I've been waiting to see forever and was the one I was really looking forward to. She kept disappearing all night to hang out with the opener lady, until I get a text that she is puking. At the same time, the band is pronouncing my name wrong to come to the stage because the bar manager needs me. I'm pissed and almost dump her. I pack her stuff. Well, I hired her very part-time at my company as an assistant. I needed a ton of data entry, and so it's not like I had to manage her, and she was free to go to any interview. Her primary duties were writing how to docs for her replacement. I knew it was important not be as dependent on me. We get to December and she's in a wedding. It's 3 hours away and I had tickets to a concert that I bought that summer for the Friday. I cleared the date with her then. She ends up missing rehearsal dinner and we leave at 5 a.m. for makeup or whatever. She will never see it this way, but she was horrible to me that weekend and there was of course a fight. She gets worked up easy. I had started having a weird gut feeling right around the time they first must have started talking. It got worse in mid-December. I was writing it off on the meds. But man, the signs were there. Those signs that never seem to be wrong. I am after all 2 for 2 here. I date poorly and need to work on that. What signs, you ask? She started disappearing into the bathroom for like 45 minutes and said she was picking ingrown hairs. She was neurotic, so it was believable. She was always on her phone. Always. The meds, they changed her. They made her more selfish, meaner, more impulsive. I see now she was in some chemically induced mania. Still, she fell in love with a complete loser that was bullshitting her. He got what he wanted and was out. Broke her heart. She told me as much. She started finding these evil ulterior motives behind me trying my best to be supportive. Everything was calculated and was to control her. I guess she didn't think a person would do a kind thing for her without having a reason. She stopped kissing me goodnight and saying I love you. On Christmas Eve I spend it with her family. They are very welcoming and I'm glad because they are so opposite my family. On Christmas I wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat, shivering so hard I thought I was having a seizure. This goes on for 2 days. I got COVID for Christmas, vaxxed even, rolling eyes face. She met with him and cheated a bit before Christmas. He gave her COVID, and she asymptotically gave it to me and her 98-year-old in the hospital grandma we visited Christmas Eve. When it rains it pours. She goes to her family's Christmas despite my dying state. We come into January and things are actually getting better. I'm oblivious to the cheating, and things with him weren't going as planned. My business hits a hard spot and money got tight. We were planning on going to this alumni event at her school that was basically a party. I can't really step away during this time. I tell her we shouldn't go. The morning of our breakup was when she told me she wanted to go with her girlfriend. I was pissed. Here I am busting my ass, paying all her bills, giving her AB's job to have money, and she is spending her first check on a vacation I can't take. Yeah, I'm done. I'm packing her shit and her new journal her mom got her falls off the top of the box to the floor face down and open. I'm trying to pack things nice, because I really thought we just needed space at this time. I don't know if it was a guardian angel or some spirit having a laugh, but when I smooth out the page I see her saying I thought what app and I had is real and it broke my heart when he stopped talking to me after rehab. 4. Junkie. She goes on to talk about how she so desperately wants out of this relationship. That I'm spiritually holding her back. How now that app is gone she wants to hit up this other loser she used to hang out with V. I admitted I read it all. I call her and she lies, says it was only text. She emailed me once she picked up her stuff and admits to sleeping with him. She tells me she has 2 broken hearts. That sucked to hear. We communicate some, I want answers. After talking she realizes he played her like the idiot she is. That's fun for me at least. Still she kept minimizing. She says things went too far. Her texting him back was too damn far. She's playing victim and my last words to her were, "You made a plan and you executed it perfectly. You just didn't think the guy with the felonies that knew you had a boyfriend would lie. Your monkey branch broke, and that's when you came back to me. From the moment you replied to him you became a using gold-digging liar. You are not a victim, you are just gullible and got what you deserved. I didn't consent to fuck a junkie, how is this different than a man pulling off a condom? I've had 3 STD tests, and never would have touched you had I known. You lied to get my consent. So if you actually want to try to be a better person, acknowledge what you did and stop acting like you didn't have a plan and didn't love it. Thanks if you made it to the end. I really did just want to write it out." Here are some of the best comments from our community. "That was a slog, man, and I hope that you're doing better day by day on the other side of it. I don't even know if I want to hope for an update where we hear how poorly everything turned out for her. I'm not sure it will ever happen, hubris is not common these days. You're doing amazingly well. I truly hope that venting here has allowed you to get some of those feelings of anger, betrayal and, maybe, bemusement out. I can't say my experiences are on your level, but I can say that you come across as very well reasoned, and I hope that this experience doesn't cause you to lose any part of yourself or doubt yourself in any way. You, sir, are a survivor. I hope that last message was right before you blocked her for good out of your life. No contact is so important here. Continued contact only serves to draw your mental health down. You need emotional separation to begin to heal. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.